What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be getting into my SEC Conference Tournament predictions. So, let's dive right into it. But before we get into the bracket, just want to let you guys know if you want to check out my ACC Conference Tournament predictions video that I just made, you can. Or I'm going to be making my Big 12 Conference Tournament predictions, Big East, Pac-12, and then obviously other ones throughout the week if you guys want to just be staying tuned for those. But anyway, let's look at this bracket for the ACC, and obviously the top seed here at number one, we have Alabama finishing 16-2 in conference play, just lost to the number 2 team, who is Texas A&M, who finished 15-3 in conference play, just a game back on the Crimson Tide right there. But then number 3, we got a little bit of a drop-off with Kentucky, who finished 12-6 in conference play. Has been playing a lot better, though, as of late. And then we have a 3-way tiebreaker between number 4 through 6, with number 4 seed Missouri, number 5 seed Tennessee, and then number 6 seed Vanderbilt all finished 11-7 in conference play. Vanderbilt is in the bubble right now. They're going to be needing to get a win. And then Tennessee, a top seed as a 5 seed, not getting the double bye is pretty crazy for that to happen. But anyway, we got number 7 seed Auburn, who finished 10-8 in conference play. Kind of faltered out a bit at the end of the year, but are starting to get back on track, beating Tennessee last night. And then we got number 8 seed Florida, finishing 9-9 in conference play. They also need to go on a run in the tournament. And then number 9, Mississippi State, at 8-10, also in the bubble right now, in the last 4 in. They probably need to beat Florida and probably being competitive for them to be ultimately safe against Alabama. So that's really the goal for Mississippi State. Number 10, Arkansas, pretty safe in the tournament right now. Also, we had a tiebreak between Arkansas and Mississippi State. Both finished 8-10 in conference play. And then number 11, missing out on a bye, we have Georgia. They lost 5 straight to finish off the year. Tough for Georgia at 6-12 in conference play. And then number 12, we had South Carolina, finished 4-14 in conference play. They actually went into double overtime with Alabama, almost beat them crazy. That a 12 seed South Carolina. This is how competitive this conference can be. And then number 13, we had Ole Miss finishing 3-15 in conference play. And then number 14, we had LSU finishing 2-16 in conference play as the worst team. But anyway, let's look at this bracket and do our predictions. And we're going to start out with the 12 versus 13 matchup between South Carolina and Ole Miss for a spot to play Tennessee in the next round. I'm going to go South Carolina. I was impressed with the game against Alabama. I have not seen much of Ole Miss this year, so I'm going to go with the 12-seeded South Carolina to get the win. And then Georgia versus LSU. Georgia's had a good year for them. They're not usually the basketball-type program. LSU's just had a horrible year. I don't see that the Tigers are going to be able to pull off the upset. All right, so for a spot in the quarterfinals, Florida versus Mississippi State, a big game for both these teams. Florida needs to go on a run in this tournament. Playing Mississippi State, this would be considered an upset for me. Let's look at when these two last played. In January, it looks like. And yeah, Florida won by 2 points, a big win for Florida at the time. Man, this is a tough one to predict here. I'm going to go with the AC Florida. I have a feeling that they're going to be able to pull off the upset. I'm going to go with them. Mississippi State's a really good team, but with a loss like that in this tournament, that could really be tough for Mississippi State to make it to the tournament. So they need to win that game, but according to my predictions, I don't think they're gonna. And then we got Tennessee versus South Carolina. Would be a huge upset pick. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to go 12-seeded South Carolina going on to the next round. Now, I might just be overcrediting the game against Alabama, but that looked very impressive. Tennessee lost one of their starting stars on their team due to injury, and they've been inconsistent lately. I think that they could get upset in the real NCAA tournament, and I'm going to give them an upset in the SEC tournament. So the 5-seeded Tennessee goes down. And I also kind of like a first-round game. You can get a little bit readied up for this game. You never that sometimes that can help a team. Sometimes the bye is better. But yeah, it really just depends. But I'm going to go with Tennessee going down and South Carolina advancing on to play Missouri. All right, so now we got Auburn against Arkansas. Really good matchup between two good teams. A 7 seed versus a 10 seed here. Arkansas has struggled as of late. They've lost 3 straight games to Kentucky, but they also play Tennessee and Alabama, 2 good teams. Last time these two played, it was in January, and Auburn won by 13. Those two teams were really high up there in the standings back then. I'm going to go with the 10-seeded Arkansas, though. I know they've struggled as of late, but I think that they're going to use that as fuel for the fire into this tournament. And that would be a tough loss for Auburn. They're also on the bubble right now, so as I'm just basically predicting a fire for these bubble teams in the SEC tournament so far, but I'm going to go with Arkansas. All right, Vanderbilt versus Georgia. Vanderbilt, a must-win game here against Georgia. I think that Vanderbilt can do it. I don't think that Georgia's going to be able to win that game. Georgia really did start out the year good. Start out conference play good. They were 6-7, just not a good ending to it. So I'm going to go with Vanderbilt. All right, so for the quarterfinals here, Alabama versus Florida. The Gators, if they could win this game, that would be huge, but I don't see it happening. Alabama's just too good. I'm going with the Crimson Tide. And then Missouri versus South Carolina, a 4 versus a 12 seed. I really do like Missouri. I don't see South Carolina pulling off a big upset. I'm going with the Tigers of Missouri to advance on as an 11-7 program in the SEC. And then 2-seeded Texas A&M against 10-seeded Arkansas. A really good matchup between two teams. I believe that these two teams played a few games ago. No, they did not. They played a while ago. But anyway, I could see Arkansas pulling off a big upset there. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I'm going with Texas A&M. They're a really good team. Then Kentucky versus Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, I believe, just beat Kentucky. A cut on Wednesday. Barely got a huge win against Kentucky. I think that Kentucky gets the revenge, though, and advances on to end Vanderbilt's bubble chances. All right, so for a spot in the finals game, Alabama versus Missouri. I really do like Missouri, but against Alabama, I just don't see it happening. Missouri, though, should be happy that they got to the semifinals, even though they had to go through just South Carolina. But then Texas A&M versus Kentucky, a 2 seed versus a 3 seed. Really good matchup between two good teams. This is a really tough one to predict, guys. Kentucky's been really good as of late, other than that Vanderbilt loss. But then Texas A&M's just been dominant right now in the SEC, other than Alabama. I'm going to go Texas A&M, though. I think that they're just playing too good. Kentucky, though, are a really good team. I think that they can make a run in the real NCAA tournament. But I'm going to go with Texas A&M. They've proven that they've been so good in conference play for a reason. Alabama versus Texas A&M for the championship game, a rematch of yesterday's game. Alabama, I do think, can get the revenge and be your SEC champion. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video today. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the content. Comment down below your predictions. And anyway, peace.